Hey everyone, welcome back to Learn English with Podcast. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Tony. It's always so good to have you with us. Thanks for listening today.
We hope you're feeling great and ready to improve your English with us. Today's episode is super fun. It's about Easter.
Oh yes, Easter is a holiday that many people celebrate around the world. It's full of colors, chocolates, and special traditions. And also, a lot of food.
Ha, true. But before we go deeper, let's tell you what we're going to talk about today. We'll explain what Easter is, how people celebrate it in different countries, and some typical foods and traditions.
Then we'll have a few guests who will tell us their personal Easter stories, how they celebrate with their families, what they eat, and what Easter means to them. And of course, we'll help you learn some new English words along the way.
So sit back, relax, and let's start with our own Easter experiences. Tony, do you want to go first?
Sure. So, I grew up in a small town, and Easter was always a big thing in my family. Every year we would go to church in the morning. That's a tradition for many people. And then, we had this big Easter lunch with my grandparents, cousins, everyone.
That sounds lovely. What did you eat?
Oh, we had roasted lamb, potatoes, vegetables, and of course a lot of chocolate eggs. And I remember when I was a kid, we had an Easter egg hunt in the garden.
Nice. For those who don't know, an Easter egg hunt is when someone hides small chocolate eggs and children go looking for them. It's really fun.
Yeah, and some of the eggs had little toys inside too. It was like a treasure hunt.
Aw, that's so cute. In my case, my Easter experience is a bit different. I didn't grow up with big family lunches, but we always colored eggs at home. You know, we would boil eggs and then paint them with bright colors. Red, green, yellow, blue.
Oh yes, painting eggs is such a creative activity. Did you use brushes or dip them?
We used both. Sometimes we even used stickers. And then, on Sunday morning, we'd eat them with bread and cheese. Very simple but nice. One year my mom made sweet Easter bread, like a soft cake with raisins. So delicious.
I'm getting hungry now.
Same here. So as you can see, Easter can look different depending on where you live or how your family celebrates it. But in many places, it's about spending time with loved ones, enjoying food, and having some fun.
Exactly. And today we're going to hear how other people celebrate Easter. We invited some special guests to join us and tell their own Easter stories.
We'll talk with each one, ask them some questions, and help you learn useful English words during their stories.
So stay tuned. We'll start with our first guest right after this short break. Alright, welcome back to Learn English with Podcast. If you just joined, today we're talking about Easter, what it means, how people celebrate it, and all the lovely traditions that come with it.
Yes, and now it's time to meet our first guest. We are so excited because we love hearing stories from real people. It's a great way to learn new vocabulary and understand how English works in everyday conversations.
Let's bring in our first guest. Hello there. Welcome to the show. Can you tell us your name?
Hi. My name is Sarah, and thank you for having me here.
Hi, Sarah. We're happy you're here. Where are you from?
I'm from Poland, but I've been living in the UK for about 3 years now.
Nice. So tell us, how do you celebrate Easter? What's it like in your family?
Well, Easter in Poland is really special and full of traditions. It starts before Easter Sunday, with something called Holy Saturday. On that day, we prepare a basket of food. It's called sweekanka. Inside, we put eggs, bread, sausage, a small piece of cake, and salt.
Oh, wow, sounds interesting. What do you do with the basket?
We take it to church to be blessed by the priest. It's a very old tradition. My grandmother used to prepare the basket every year, and when I was a child, I loved carrying it.
So it's kind of like a special food offering?
Yes, exactly. Then, on Easter Sunday, we have a big breakfast. But first, this is very funny. We take a boiled egg, cut it into small pieces, and everyone at the table takes one piece and says a wish for the year.
That's so sweet. It's like making New Year's wishes, but during Easter.
Right. And then we eat a lot. We have white sausage, eggs in many styles, beetroot soup, and different cakes. One of the most famous is mazurek, a flat cake with jam and nuts on top.
That sounds delicious. So what's your favorite part?
Honestly? Easter Monday. In Poland, we call it Śmigus Dęgis. It's also known as Wet Monday, because people throw water at each other.
Wait, what? Like, really throw water?
Yes. It's a tradition. People splash water on their friends, families, even strangers sometimes. When I was a teenager, my brother would pour water on me when I was still sleeping.
Haha, that's amazing. I've never heard of that before. Wasn't it cold?
Very. But it was also so funny. Some people use buckets or water guns. One year, my cousins and I made a water ambush in the garden. We waited behind the trees and threw balloons filled with water at our uncle when he arrived.
That's hilarious. I bet your uncle was surprised.
He was. But he laughed and joined the fun. It's all about joy and celebrating spring.
I love that. It really shows how Easter can be full of happiness and family fun. Do you still celebrate like this in the UK?
Well, not exactly the same. But I do try to make a small Easter breakfast and share the tradition with my friends here. They love hearing about it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing this beautiful story with us.
Yeah, really. It was full of cool traditions and good food ideas. Now I want beetroot soup.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Wow, what a fun story. I loved hearing about Wet Monday. I didn't know about that Polish tradition.
Same here. It shows how different cultures celebrate Easter in unique ways. And it makes learning English more exciting, right?
Totally. So now, let's talk about some of the advanced words and expressions we heard in Sarah's story. We'll explain what they mean and give you for examples so you can use them too.
Blessed. Sarah said they take the basket of food to church to be blessed. This means a religious person like a priest gives a special prayer over something to make it holy. For example, the food was blessed before Easter Sunday.
Ambush. She said they made a water ambush for her uncle. An ambush is when you hide and surprise someone. For example, the children made a water ambush behind the trees.
Tradition. She talked a lot about Polish Easter traditions. A tradition is something people do every year or regularly, often in families or cultures. For example, it's a family tradition to eat cake on Easter.
Splash. People splash water on each other during Wet Monday. To splash means to throw a small amount of liquid on someone or something. For example, he splashed water on his sister.
Let's repeat them together. Blessed, ambush, tradition, and splash. These are really useful words not only for Easter.
That's right. And when you hear them in real stories like Sarah's, it's easier to remember them.
Now we're ready for our next guest. Another Easter story is coming up with more fun and more English for you to learn. Welcome back, everyone. We already had a great story from Sarah about Polish Easter. And now we're ready for our second guest. Let's hear another experience and learn some more cool English words.
Hello and welcome. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Luis, and I'm really happy to be here.
Nice to meet you, Luis. Where are you from?
I'm from Mexico, but I'm currently living in Canada.
Awesome. So, how is Easter celebrated in Mexico? Tell us your story.
Well, Easter in Mexico is part of something we call Semana Santa, or Holy Week. It's a very big celebration, especially in small towns. People don't just celebrate one day, they celebrate for the whole week.
The whole week? That's a big party.
Yes, and it's also very spiritual. It starts with Palm Sunday, where people go to church and carry small crosses or decorations made of palm leaves. When I was a kid, I used to help my grandma make those little palm crosses.
That sounds beautiful. Do you still make them?
Sometimes, yes. When I'm in Mexico during Easter, I help my cousins make them. It's a nice family moment.
So, what happens after Palm Sunday?
Well, the most important days are Thursday and Friday. On Thursday, people remember the Last Supper, and on Friday, it's Good Friday, the day when Jesus died, according to the Christian tradition.
Do people do something special on those days?
Yes, In many towns, there are big processions, like people walking in the streets wearing costumes and acting out the last days of Jesus. Some people even carry big wooden crosses to show their faith.
Wow. That's very emotional and strong. Did you ever join a procession?
Yes, actually, when I was 15, I played one of the Roman soldiers in the play. We walked for 2 hours in the sun. It was really hot, but the experience was powerful. People were crying during the final scene.
I can imagine. It's amazing how Easter has different meanings for everyone.
Yes, and it's also about community. Everyone helps, making food, preparing costumes, organizing the events. There's a feeling of working together.
Do people eat special food during Easter in Mexico?
Oh, yes. During Holy Week, many people don't eat meat, so we eat a lot of fish, shrimp, and vegetable dishes. One of the most traditional dishes is called torta de camarón. It's a kind of shrimp patty with green sauce. Delicious.
Yum. I'm getting hungry again.
Always, Nikki. So, do you still celebrate Easter now that you live in Canada?
Yes, but in a smaller way. I usually go to church, and I call my family in Mexico. Last year, I cooked tortas de camarón with my girlfriend. She's Canadian, and it was her first time trying Mexican Easter food. She loved it.
That's great. Thanks, Luis, for sharing your story. I really liked the part about the processions. I've never seen one, but it sounds powerful.
Yeah, same here. And thanks for teaching us about Mexican traditions and food.
You're welcome. It was fun to talk with you.
Wow, that was a very meaningful story from Luis. I loved the way he described the community, people working together for something bigger than themselves.
Yeah, and I think it's great to learn about faith, family, and culture, all through Easter. Now it's time for our vocabulary review.
Procession. Luis talked about people walking in the street during Easter, like a religious play. A procession is a group of people moving slowly together, usually for a ceremony or celebration. For example, the Easter procession went through the whole town.
Spiritual. He said the week was very spiritual. Spiritual means related to deep feelings, religion, or the soul. For example, for many people, Easter is a spiritual time.
Shrimp patty. A shrimp patty is a round piece of food made with ground shrimp and cooked like a burger. In Mexico, it's called torta de camarón. For example, we ate shrimp patties with green sauce for Easter.
Faith. Faith is strong belief in something, especially in religion or in people. For example, they showed their faith by joining the Easter procession.
Let's repeat those again. Procession, spiritual, shrimp patty, and faith.
These are not only useful for talking about Easter, you can use them in other conversations too.
Okay, listeners, more Easter stories are coming up. Stay with us.
All right, listeners. We've already heard 2 amazing Easter stories from our guests today.
But we've saved something special for last. This next guest is going to tell us all about Easter in the UK, and, let's just say, things get messy after that.
Yes, let's give a big warm welcome to... Hello, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Emily, and I'm super happy to be here.
Hi, Emily. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Australia, but I've been living in London, UK for the last 2 years.
That's awesome. So, before we get into your story, could you tell us a bit about how Easter is celebrated in the UK?
Sure, in the UK, Easter is very important for many families. Some people go to church, especially on Easter Sunday. It's a religious day for many Christians. They celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. But most people also enjoy the traditions, like the Easter egg hunt. Parents hide chocolate eggs in the house or garden, and kids run around looking for them. It's a lot of fun.
And do adults get eggs too?
Sometimes. Some families give small gifts or Easter cards to each other too. And of course, there's food. Many people eat roast lamb with potatoes and vegetables. Oh, and there's also something called hot cross buns.
Oh, yes. The little bread buns with the cross on top?
Exactly. They're sweet, with raisins or currants inside. People usually eat them on Good Friday.
Nice. I'm hungry already.
Me too. So, Emily, you've had a funny Easter moment in the UK, right?
Oh, yes. It was my first Easter here, and I'll never forget it. So I was invited to my British friend's house for Easter Sunday. Her family is super traditional. They had decorations, flowers, a big lunch planned, and of course, the Easter egg hunt. There were many children there, maybe 5 or more. Everyone was outside, running in the garden looking for chocolate eggs.
That sounds like a lovely time.
It was. But here's the funny part. Grandma, who's about 85 years old, decided to make it more exciting. She secretly hid extra eggs in strange places.
Oh no. I feel like this won't end well.
Exactly. She didn't tell anyone where she hid them. Not even her daughter. She said, "Let the eggs find you." So, fast forward 1 week. A strange smell started coming from the garden. Everyone thought maybe an animal had died.
Oh boy.
Well, guess what? One of Grandma's secret eggs was a giant chocolate egg, and she had hidden it inside a flower pot. It melted in the sun and became a sticky chocolate puddle.
Ew.
It gets better, because the chocolate attracted ants, flies, and even a little lizard.
Wow. Was it just sitting there?
Yes. The lizard looked very happy, just chilling in the chocolate like a hot tub.
I love this story already.
But the worst part? My friend's dad went to clean the pot and saw the lizard. He screamed so loud, dropped the pot, and it broke into pieces. The lizard ran away and the chocolate splashed everywhere. Grandma just said, "Oops, I think I forgot that one."
Your grandma is a legend. You should write a book, The Lizard and the Egg.
Maybe I will.
That's probably the most British Easter mistake we've ever heard.
Yes, but in the end we all laughed so much, and we still had an amazing Easter lunch after the lizard egg drama.
So glad to hear that. And you've just given all of us a warning. Don't forget where you hide your eggs.
That's right.
Thank you, Emily. That was a perfect story to end today's episode. Okay, learners, let's take a moment to review some new words from Emily's story.
Here are 4 advanced words or phrases we learned today.
Resurrection. This means coming back to life. In Easter, it's about Jesus rising from the dead. For example, Easter is about the resurrection of Jesus.
Sticky. Something that is wet and attaches to things, like melted chocolate. For example, the chocolate egg melted and became sticky.
Chill as a verb. It means to relax or stay calm and also just sit and enjoy. For example, the lizard was chilling in the chocolate.
Legend. In slang, when someone is funny or amazing, we say you're a legend. For example, Grandma hid eggs in secret places. What a legend.
Let's repeat them again. Resurrection, sticky, chill, and legend.
Nice. Try to use them in a conversation or even write a short Easter story using these words.
Well, Tony, I really enjoyed today's episode. 3 different stories, 3 different guests, and so many ways to celebrate Easter.
Yes, that Easter is not only a religious holiday, it's also a time to be with family, enjoy food, and share special traditions. And for people learning English, it's a great chance to learn new vocabulary and talk about celebrations.
That one made me laugh so much. But it also made me think, holidays like Easter are more than just special days. They are chances to learn and connect with other people.
That's true. For people learning English, celebrations like Easter are perfect moments to practice. You can speak, listen, read, and write about things that are happening around you.
Here are some tips to help you learn English with celebrations.
Write a short story in English about your Easter day.
Make a list of new words you heard or read.
Practice speaking with a friend. Even short sentences help.
Watch videos or listen to songs in English related to the holiday.
And remember, don't worry if you make mistakes. Every mistake helps you learn something new.
Before we finish, let's do a quick review of some words we learned today. Try to remember them and use them this week.
Hide. Like when children hide chocolate eggs in the garden.
Messy. When something is not clean or organized, like melted chocolate.
Tradition. Something you do every year with your family or friends.
Chill. To relax or do nothing for a while, like the lizard in the egg.
Yes, those were fun words. Try to use them in your own stories or conversations.
So, that's all for today on Learn English with Podcast. We hope you had a great time with us and learned something useful.
Don't forget, practice a little English every day. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to keep going.
Listen to our podcast every day if you can. Subscribe to the show, give it a like, and share it with your friends or classmates.
Thank you so much for being with us. We'll be back soon with a new episode and more stories to help you learn English in a fun way.
Take care, enjoy your day, and keep learning.
See you next time.